Do you remember Jackanory? Yeah, I think we used to tell the stories. Well, they had a guy on Jackanory telling the story of Cinderella, but they didn't realise he was dyslexic. And it went something like this. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful young girl called Rindycella, who lived in a large mansion with her two ugly sisters and sticky wet mother. Now, Rindycella worked very hard, flogging scores, weaning clindos, and shivelling shut. In fact, by the end of the day, Rindycella was looking fagged. Now, Rindycella had two sisters, and they were called Mary Hinge and Betty Swallocks. And they both had tickets to both to the Gall. But they wouldn't let Rindycella go. In fact, her only friend was Buttons. And he wasn't speaking to Rindycella, because she wouldn't cook his sock. Later that night, Rindycella was sitting there all alone, and suddenly there was a hucking huge bang, and a little old lady appeared. Shinder's writ herself. "Phoo the hooky you," she cried. "Phoo the hooky you." "Don't be afraid," said the woman. "I'm your gary fod mother." And with a waft of her wind, she turned a pumpkin and 6 mice into a hooking huge carriage. "Mice all crooking fighty," Rindy shouted. "It's a mucking firacle." But her gary fod mother said, "You must be back by midnight, or there'll be a cooking calamity." At the ball, Rindycella was dancing with the prancing hints. He'd been there since 8 o'clock and was as fist as a part. "Shan't you a fag," he said. "Shan't you a fag?" Suddenly the clock struck 12, and Rindycella fucking panicked and went running out of the ballroom, tripping bass over ollocks. "Bumcack! Bumcack!" cried the prancing mince. "I didn't even get a Joe Blob." And looking down, he spotted Rindycella's slash glipper. And picking it up, said, "Whoever this glipper sits, I shall marry." So the next day he tried the slash glipper on Betty Swallocks. But the glipper wouldn't sit. In fact, she tried so hard, she let out a fig bart. "Ooh, that stuck-in finks," cried the prancing hints. "Who's fuss charted? Who's fuss charted?" "It's that felly smucker over there," said Buttons. So he tried the slash glipper on Rindycella, and the glipper sitted, pucking perfectly, and taking hold of Rindycella's hand, took her upstairs and bagged her shames out. And later, Rindycella and the prancing mince were both married, and Rindycella ended up with 8 children and a foal and swanny.